I'll train to spin fire. The NFT analyzer, diving deep into projects. He's the crypto energizer. From your meme coins to tokens, he's got all the intel. Web3 wizardry, show you where to excel. He's got the insights like a digital magician, unveiling secrets.
Good morning, Mega GMs. Believe it or not, maybe not a lot of Trove talk today. You know, like whatever. We'll talk some Trove, whatever about that. But anyway, good morning. Happy Tuesday to you. It is January 20th, and it's yet again possibly Tariff Day. It might be today. You know what? Maybe because we don't know for sure. Maybe because we don't have confirmation that today's the day. Well, maybe that means it's actually the day. There is a chance we get the Supreme Court ruling on the Trump tariffs today, and the implications of that are huge. And I think I finally made up my mind about where that might send us, man. And I'm actually excited. Excited for what that could mean. We have a lot to talk about, actually. It's not just tariffs. Man, the Clarity Act conversation still heating up out there. Of course, crypto price action, not going the way I think we were hoping for right now. Man, let's get to it. We're already off to a late start. Anyway, DK, good morning, man. Cats GM, good to see you, sir. Dead, good morning. Always great having Dead here. Hoods, good morning. Mufasa's here. Good morning. Of course, we got some virtuals drama. Dude, isn't it crazy? You can just count on some things, right? I was thinking of that this morning too. I'm so tired of the tariff talk. I'm tired of it. Anyway, let's get this up. Again, it's like we have no confirmation here. We don't have any confirmation here that the ruling is coming today, but the options are today, tomorrow. And I think, was it Mufasa or Sovereign who had dropped that in the chat a couple days back that today can be the day, and it can. Today is one of the days that you can get a Supreme Court opinion. And so with that said, we're going to check in 49 minutes is the exact time where those opinions start dropping. We'll show them right here. SupremeCourt.gov. We'll be watching the site live. We'll see them roll in as soon as anybody else out there. But, any kind of Bitcoin action you're seeing right now is not related to the tariff ruling. It's, I believe, related to the tariff war, the threat of tariffs against the EU retaliation, right? Things we've talked about already. But that's what's moving this market right now. And maybe nothing else, because outside of crypto, things are looking incredibly spicy. One day we catch a bid. 71% chance, hang on, am I mathing right? 71% chance those tariffs are ruled illegal. My gut now tells me that if they're ruled illegal, the market that we send. I wasn't sure before. Now I'm more and more sure, only because of the latest, Trump EU tariff wars, and it's a war over Greenland at this point. Tariffs ruled illegal kind of unwind this attack vector. You know what I mean? Like Trump's current attack plan, his current plan to acquire Greenland is by tariffing countries who are opposing us acquiring Greenland. Well, that goes away if tariffs are ruled illegal today or tomorrow. It's just gone. That means we get Trump plan B. So as quickly as the market pumps, we're one tweet away, we're one Trump Truth Social post away from a complete dump when we hear his plan B. What's it going to be? Is it actually boots on the ground? Like, what's it going to be? So we'll see. But this is like, man, this is getting pretty hot all over Greenland. And yeah, I'm sure it's a big deal. I'm sure it's a big deal. I'm sure it's important. These guys talking a big game. Another delay, possibly, dude. At some point, they got a rule on it. It's like delay it today or tomorrow. Then till when? Is it another week or two or what? Like at some point, they've got to be very close to whatever that decision is, right? They have to be. In fact, I would Dude, I would love to know what's that hang up. Like, what's the reason they didn't rule last week and the week before? Like, what's that one sticking point that they're just like, what? Trying to get clarity on? Like what's that thing? I can't even imagine. But boy, I think it's going to get spicy real quick when it is announced. Scott Bessent's got some big old balls, though. Hey, was that game yesterday? I'm so unplugged. When's the college football like championship game? When is that? Was that yesterday or is that in like a week here? That might have been yesterday, dude. I kind of wanted to watch it. Anyway, this man's got big old balls. It was last night, dude. Damn, I really want to watch. I had no idea, dude. That didn't show up anywhere. Anywhere. I saw it nowhere. Damn. All right. It's funny, dude. Like, you can be so plugged in, like, at least online, and it didn't show up in my feed once. I haven't even seen this morning, like, that Indiana won. I haven't seen it anywhere. I haven't seen it anywhere. Dude, that's a bummer. God. All right. Kind of annoyed then. Oh, well. All right. Moving on from tariffs. And again, I want to keep checking back on Polymarket. Actually, I'm going to do exactly what we did last week. I want to keep looking for some big trades. Again, if something maybe leaks early, I would imagine we see some big money coming in. And I want to see buys, I think. I just want to see big money coming in on either side that tells us one way or another what way may have leaked. Dude, that's crazy. Literally nowhere. And, like all I'm doing is scrolling. I haven't seen one single thing. Not a single thing. That's such a bummer, dude. All right. Tariffs we'll circle back to. In the meantime, so many other things that impact this market. Clarity Act, yes, we talked about Clarity Act to death too. Probably more than tariffs, right? Eleanor Terrett saying the ball's in Coinbase's court, right? They're the ones who pulled their support of the bill. We heard the White House is not happy about that. We heard everybody's pissed about it. I mean, you guys saw the story last week. The insider who leaked the attack on Venezuela in jail, and it's like 2 people in jail. Like, right? That stuff, they're going to plug those holes. Yeah, them as a source for insider info might be like the golden era right now for like insider info, maybe. But look, Clarity Act is getting interesting because like I don't believe it's going to pass. I don't believe it's going to pass. And then the flip side of that is Yasu thinks it's definitely going to pass. He's confident it's going to pass this year. I don't think it is. And I think he's right, though, when it does that wave of tokenization that truthfully has already started. And look, maybe, I mean, this is getting ahead of ourselves a bit, but you guys, I hope, saw the headline that the New York Stock Exchange is launching a 24/7 tokenized trading platform. They got to know that it's passing, or they have to know that it doesn't matter if it passes, which in that case, great. Then my position still stands. I don't think it matters if it passes right now. I don't think it does. So maybe I'll read into this. Well, again, he thinks it's going to pass this year. I don't. But either way, I got to read into the New York Stock Exchange planning to launch this platform as like the sign. It's coming. It's coming. And if it's not, it's like all kosher anyways. So to me, that's a big sign. In the meantime, though, Brian Armstrong's out at Davos, the World Economic Forum, and you're seeing videos come out, already this morning, and everybody's talking about the economy. But he's out there talking to banks and still trying to push this thing through. And it's stablecoin yields are still hammering away at, and banks don't want to offer customers, not their customers, crypto customers, that yield. Who capitulates, man? Probably the banks. Coinbase is doing a lot, though. I'll back them with whatever. I will. I'll back them. I'll just like by default say I'm with them on the Clarity Act and then pulling support because they've gone to war for us. And on top of that, dude, check this out, man. They're bringing everybody on chain. They literally are. We now have Bermuda, who's putting their entire economy on chain, like literally everything on chain. They're going to build their entire infrastructure on chain, their payment rails on chain, everything on chain. And so again, Coinbase doing the Lord's work here. You know, I support them. And again, if they're saying Clarity Act's no good, I'm with them. Vision, ETH holding support. Mufasa, interesting. Tokenization means alts and shit coins will be under microscope for fundamentals. Most will go to zero. Different ball game when the suits enter. Yeah, I'm afraid you're right. Mostly. I think you're mostly right here. We'll see. Dude, it's interesting. Adoption's coming and it's coming fast. Like it is. We saw last week ETH hit an all-time high in daily transactions. It was like 2.4 mil or 2.6 or whatever. It's another all-time high here. Just about 2.9 million daily transactions here. Who, like where is this extra? Where's this coming from? Is this because of the ETH upgrade? Hang on a second. Yeah. Okay. Okay, check this out. I think all that happened here, this is not like new platforms coming on chain. This is the ETH upgrade that made it where more transactions are pushed through, right? That like the blob upgrade, and right, we covered that last fork. Ever since then, it's transactions up. So this is not like new platforms and new things happening on chain. It's just the blockchain got faster, which is awesome. But it finally clicked, you know? Oh, wait, hang on. Pepe Smothers are king. Look, I no matter what, I mean, I agree about alts and a lot of these coins trending to zero for sure. And I also agree that top meme coins are going to do phenomenal. I don't believe for a second we've seen anywhere close to the top for memes. I believe we're going to see $100 billion meme coins again. I believe it. I do. It's not now, but you know, same thing with NFTs. We're years out from it, but we're going to see. It's going to get different. Right now, no liquidity. Totally true. Can't do it right now. Like right now, it ain't happening right now. But yeah, Pepe too powerful of a coin. Top 10. I'm mostly with you, dude. I think it's excellent. But like, dude, Jim Cramer sometimes has got some real gems, and he's right here, man. If Besson has his way, you buy today. I love that. Because he's right, dude. That's my bet for this year is they're going to crime this thing. They're going to do whatever they can do in their power to get this stuff cooking. And by the way, I'll say the flip side of that is, I mean, it is cooking. The S&P 500 is at an all-time high, and gold and silver, you already know, at an all-time high. Everything's at an all-time high. We're kind of cooking already. Worries me that Bitcoin's where it's at now with everything else at its top. That means if everything else crashes, how low does Bitcoin go? I think we all have a decent idea of where it goes, but still, the spirit of what Kramer's saying is, if Besson has his way, you buy today. And man, I think that's the play, and I think that's where I lean. And I'm still in gamble mode. I still think right now is the time to gamble. I'd be careful with it, but I'm not sitting on my hands right now just yet. And then there, Trump does need to shut up. He'll crush any momentum we get. It's just what he does. And that moment might happen too. There may be a rotation at some point to crypto. I mean, again, we hope. Anyway, let's get into the meat. Let's get into the real meat. But before we do that, make sure you smash the like wherever you're watching. We're on X, we're on Abstract, we're on Kick, we're on Zora, we're on somewhere else in the mix, but definitely on YouTube. Come over here wherever you're watching, like hit the like, but come over here and subscribe. It's Crypto Slam on the YouTube side. You know, you got to follow us at Crypto Slam IO over on X as well. And Slam Nation X, this is the home of the show over on the X side. So follow us here. And then you get it again, cats, and you'll get it for a few more days. But make sure you go to ethoswarm.ai, drop it in the chat here, and join the waitlist. I'll have a very good idea, I think, today, tomorrow, of when we officially just give it to you. But really soon, and I've been telling you guys how much I'm using it, how much I love it, and same thing happened again like yesterday and then last night, where I wake up in the middle of the night because an idea hits me and I get right to it, and I'm playing and I'm making it's. I have not done that with any other AI product. I haven't gone to a product where in the middle of the night I'm like, oh shit, let me try this. I've done that when I'm awake. I might play with something. I'll try something in ChatGPT. There's moments I've had a lot of fun with ChatGPT, but I have never woke up in the middle of the night to keep pushing on something. I've never done it. And I do that a lot with this thing. So next year, cats, next year. It'll be a lot faster than that. I promise you that. All right. Kramer says, let me get his exact words, right? If Besson has his way, then you buy today. Michael Saylor doing exactly that. Dude, this is one of Strategy's biggest Bitcoin purchases, period. If this is not number one, it's got to be like number two. It's got to be there. Strategy bought $2.1 billion worth of Bitcoin, 22,000 Bitcoin, which means they're holding what, like 700,000, almost like 730,000 Bitcoin. Hang on, let's see. They're getting really, really close to, 709,000 Bitcoin. What a monster number. They're getting very close to having that, 5% of the supply? They're getting really close. What a crazy thing. $2.1 billion worth. Okay, so that happens. At the same time, gold and silver, new all-time highs again. Crazy stuff happening. Just crazy stuff. I'm stuck on the Brian Johnson thing. Again, that two degree temperature change and how different that makes things. It's happening. We've raised the temperature up like 0.4 degrees. We've got a lot to go, and things are looking like this already. And yeah, how it looks for us, like that. Our sweet digital gold is not acting like digital gold. It's not. It's not. Yet. I'll say this, not yet. But this tweet's old, saying Bitcoin falls under 92K. By the way, tweets in the chat here. Throw a little love on that. But Bitcoin under 92K. No, got quite a bit lower than that. In fact, let's peek at it right now. Let's peek at that right now. There you see it. Bitcoin at under 91K. 90,850. You know, I forgot about that, Vision. Hang on. So I'll tell you, this May will be a massive rate cut. What, dude, we may get imagine that. Imagine that. But I forgot. I forgot all about Powell being out in May. Yeah, that's gonna mean something. Doesn't mean good, but the market is gonna have the market has a cook ahead of it. I guess I'm still planning on, like, ultimately, I like when somebody said, like, May's a magnet. It's going to pull prices up leading into May. At some point, the crypto market is also going to price in new Fed chair. And it's not right now. I don't believe it is. I don't think the market's pricing in a new Fed chair yet. And I think we'll see it. I think at that point, Bitcoin's well above 100. But that moment, not now. There you see ETH, well, at this point, trying to hang on to 3K. Down 4.6% in the past 24 hours. BNB's at 906, Ripple 192, Solana 128. Two things. Let me get chat on screen, and then let's look at Monero 549. Monero's getting into buy territory, I think. And I got to check. Zcash on the way, 355, but I want to check midnight. I'm going to keep checking midnight here. In fact, I should just prep this ahead of time. Let's see where midnight is. We know it fell out of the top 100. Let's see. Yeah, still second page. All right. How's midnight looking? All right. Again, I've got to keep a close eye on midnight. Under a $1 billion market cap. And maybe the bottom for midnight. Vision, yeah. I mean, at some point, you got to imagine there's a rotation. At some point. I don't know if we're there. And I think at this point, kind of like we think the ceiling for Bitcoin is kind of unlimited, over decades, right? I think a lot, it's the same with gold. That's lunatic behavior, but you're not wrong. Quickly looking at ETF volume or flows yesterday, Bitcoin 394 million outflows. Yikes. Wait. Okay, this is, I'm looking at Friday. Yesterday, the markets were closed. So we'll skip all of this. Yeah, that was Friday. Okay, skipping ETFs. We'll see how they look today. I imagine not great. But there's the big news. Again, I read into this kind of some Clarity Act. Some Clarity Act a little bit. Here's the New York Stock Exchange set to launch a 24/7 U.S. stock trading platform through a new on-chain tokenized exchange. Man, so a new exchange. A new exchange. What chain is it going to be on? Is it going to be on ETH? Is it going to be on Solana? Are they going to launch their own chain? Let's see if they've announced something. We've got so many announcements. Like this could have been announced before, and we've probably covered it before. All right, let's see. But a big deal, and man, you see takes on all sides of this. As in, this is terrible for crypto, and you see others takes that it's great, brings liquidity on chain. Yeah, we don't know what blockchain. People hoping it's Ripple. It's probably going to be their own thing, man. I imagine it's going to be their own private blockchain, private ledger, whatever. Maybe, yeah, maybe. But yeah, again, takes on all sides of this, and I get it. Like, I don't think there's a wrong take right now because I don't think we know. I don't think we know at all. Moritz, pretty much a one-shot kill for all equity perp dexes. No reason to trade equity perps on Hyperliquid or other platforms, right? He's saying you would do it to farm airdrops. 24/7 availability was the narrative. Now that's gone. I don't think that's true. Could you trade those on leverage on those platforms? I think you could. I don't know that you can for sure on whatever this new platform is. So I don't think this is a one-shot kill for anybody or for anything. Not at all. In fact, I lean more towards, what others say. It's like I say with stable coins. That's not money coming to our bags, but it is putting money on chain that's now like one click away from the things we're in, 2 clicks away. Whatever it is, it's so much closer than somebody who has no exposure to blockchain, who doesn't understand blockchain tech, isn't even interested in it. Well, you put stocks on chain and you let people trade 24/7, all of a sudden people start getting interested in, well, why is this happening now? And they do their digging. Like, why is it happening now? How is it even possible? They start realizing they're touching the blockchain and they start being, oh, this is the Bitcoin thing, right? They dig into Bitcoin a little. You start winning over people that way. You get people starting to understand blockchain tech. You start getting some people who want to invest in crypto. You start getting people who want to gamble on crypto. Some of those people do come into, the stuff we're into. And yes, that's NFTs, some. And yes, it's meme coins, all of that stuff. It's a great thing for crypto. And if you didn't know this is already where it was heading anyways, then I think you've been thinking about things the wrong way. Things are playing out, I think, almost exactly as I bet most of us were thinking. So yeah. In the meantime, like I said, I think it's gamble time still. It is. Even with the Bags app stuff getting like turbo nuked, even with White Whale getting turbo nuked, and it did, man, it did. My God, did it. I think their top holder dumped like half of his bags. Might have been more. I think the bigger story here right now is he didn't sell all his coins. This guy did not sell all his coins. Sold $1.3 million worth. And still holds 1% of the supply. There you go. But there's White Whale. There's White Whale. It's not great. It's not great. And I see people saying there's no chance this ever sees all-time high again. I don't know if I agree. I don't know. In fact, I kind of want to pull this up. Hang on. Let's actually pull it up. I'm not going to debate. I have no idea if this is I have no idea if this can hit all-time high again. No clue. But I don't care about all-time high. I want to feel if there's a bottom there and if there's some upside there. And White Whale, I think, is actually I think it's a cool enough meme. And I think it's a cool enough, maybe not cool enough, controlled enough token that it can get back to, is that it right there? Is it at 30 mil right now? It really is. Holy shit. I'll say this, man. It all depends back to whatever the market will give us, right? If the market will give us $100 million meme coin, I think white whale is back there. Yeah, I like white whale a lot now. All of a sudden, actually, no, I'm not gonna say all of a sudden. I liked white whale from pretty early on. I think when white whale was at 15 mil, we were saying this is $100 million coin, and especially as it got to 20 and 25 and 30 and 50, we're like, this is $100 million coin. I didn't think it was going to whatever it got to, 200 plus. I didn't think it was going there. That was shocking. Where did it go? It went to 200, yeah, just above 200. I didn't think it was going there, but I did think it was going to 100, and it went. And I'll say the same thing even right here. Down at 29 mil, I think this one can get back to 100. And I don't think it would be that hard for it to do it. Again, the supply is so controlled. It's not hard. Luna, good morning, man. Thank you. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. And JWise, that's kind of it, right? Have your thesis. If you believe in it, make that play. I don't think I am. I'm gonna watch. I have a very short list of things I would play. This is on that list though. Mufasa, keep watching from the sidelines as long as fiat exists and the money printer goes burr. Dollar loses value, gold goes up. Yeah. Brutal though. Not the only coin where people got absolutely wrecked here in the past couple days. Of course, we saw gas. That was brutal. Gas was brutal. And I guess at this point, white whale's every bit as bad, but here you have cow. Cow was a really hot one over the past few days. You got some poor fucking guy from 105 grand completely top blasted this thing. Yeah. This man actually bought almost $110,000 worth, sold it all for $2,600, lost over $100,000 on this coin. I get it. Get out, preserve the nothing you got left, but preserve that little bit. I don't know who's top blasting a coin that what market cap did cow get to, guys? Is this I don't know if this is 15 mil. I don't know if that's 150. I'm going to guess that's 15 mil. If it were 100 plus, I would say who's top blasting any coin at 100 mil? At 15, I would get it. You see a white whale and you see a gas and you see things running to 50 plus and 100 plus. I get it at 15. But holy shit. This is our market today. Jay Wise believes in the dude. I don't know. By the way, that chart, as bad as that looked, doesn't look as bad as the Trove chart. The Trove chart looks atrocious. Trove is a... God, guys, do we call Trove a scam? Is Trove is a scam? A scam can mean so many things. Bro, you saw, was it BlackRock or so? Who came out and said, like, people don't believe in capitalism anymore? And it's because of this. Because it's all shady and broken and blah, like crazy. Trove is, or a rug at minimum. Trove is what? It's like an RWA... Just think of it, it's an RWA platform. I can't remember if you can like trade these RWAs on leverage too. I feel like leverage was a part of it. But just like, I think at its core, think of it as an RWA platform. And they did a big old fundraise and they had, this is where the real drama here is because they raised a bunch of money from a bunch of these crypto KOLs and they had all these, paid shills who did not disclose they were paid. And then this happens. TGE happens. By the way, we need to watch for the Hey Elsa TGE today. May have happened already. We need to peek, but token goes live and dump. Yeah. So RWAs you can trade on leverage. Wild. Mufasa, I dig it. Learn to invest. Stop gambling your future. Stop gambling. Your future depends on it. Yeah. That's the problem though, is so many people think their future, if they do what they do now, not gambling, they can't make it. So gambling's the only way they can make it, which isn't true, but it's hard when you see people who are gambling and winning and you think, oh, that could be me. Or when you're so hopeless, you think that's all you can do. It sucks. But they don't realize a lot of those posts about those big wins and the, changes in life, a lot of those are fake. So much of that's fake. and people just don't know. But here's a great example of somebody who bought into that token, got in that pre-sale. They are an investor, right? $20,000. $20,000 they put in. They got, and you saw quickly that token dumped, right? So when they got their tokens, it had already crashed. They got $600 worth of token. 20,000 turned into 600. That's brutal. That doesn't happen, by the way. That doesn't happen without insider selling. It's got to be team selling or god awful tokenomics, or like some kind of compromise platform wallet, whatever. Like that doesn't happen. Just it's not organic trading. That's somebody did something. That doesn't happen any other way. And so yes, now all this is coming out. Good morning, Mike. That's it, dude. Nobody knows anything. But all these KOLs who had been shilling Trove and never posted any kind of, notice that it's a paid post. And they got some of the good guys out there too. Whale.mocha, who I say a lot. I like him. I'm not like, I don't follow his content. Like I don't go to him as like a source for info, but I like him. I actually think he's a good guy. He was involved in this. He was paid to post about it. He never disclosed that he was paid to post. So like he's going through some shit right now. He's going through some shit. But there's a whole bunch of others too. It's crazy. But here you go. They raised $2.5 million at a 20 mil FTV. They actually raised more than that. I think they raised like 10 or 12 mil. They raised a lot of money. Yep. Paid a ton to KOLs. $5,000 a month to anybody wearing that affiliate badge. And let's peek at the token right now. That tweet said 500K FTV. Let's see. But wow, 386K. I mean, FTV still at what, 500, but it doesn't matter. Awful. Imagine. And this, this happens all the time, but what a awful thing. It's bad luck for the space. It just is. Like you've seen them all over the timeline for, a few months now, but they've been building this thing, I think, for damn near a year, maybe even over a year. But here's the Trove team. I don't know, dude. I don't know if their intentions are good or bad. I have no feel for this. I can't tell. But saying that they're going to try to make this right as much as they can, but they're keeping $9.3 million here to build this perp dex. They're keeping a bunch of it. 100,000 is going to be refunded back to ICO participants. I don't know if that's per person, right? That put in that much, or if that's like total. I don't know. I guess so much I don't know. Separately, they refunded 2.4 mil already. This thing's a mess. It's a mess. And now this is the best part, is afterwards when you get all the leaked DMs, right? This is the best part. You start really getting a feel for what goes on behind the scenes, right? So people pushing for refunds. Here's Unwise, by the way, is the founder. Zach XBT doxed him, right? Put out a picture of the guy. But this is the founder saying he first off, there's other posts out there saying he's asking what to do. He doesn't know what to do. He's like, dude's lost. And I don't know if I believe him or not. I kind of do. I way too like casually give people the benefit of the doubt. I think people they fuck up, not on purpose. You know what I mean? Like I kind of, I don't know. I feel like that's the story with this guy, and I don't know. I don't know. This dude's kind of stuck. Also, nothing will happen. Nothing's gonna happen, right? If Hayden Davis got away with what he got away with Libra, nothing's gonna happen to any of these guys. That's the shitty part. At least not today, right? Here's a dude, Rune Crypto. I don't know this guy, but saying he's speaking with founder of Trove. Saying he fucked up, no bad intentions. He's being manipulated by who? I don't know. I have no idea. And saying he thinks he's going to refund. Not everything, but as much as he can. All depends on where that money is in. Yeah, I don't know. This story's unfolding. But it's ugly. It's an ugly one. Also, I don't care. If any of you guys invested in it, sorry, but yeah, I don't care. Looking at the Supreme Court polymarket market here real quick. Yeah, up to a 72% chance ruled illegal. Let me ask you guys then. Right, I think if it's ruled illegal, market sends. Where are you guys on that? If it's ruled illegal, Bitcoin up or Bitcoin down? Let's see. At a bat. All this is going on smells real funny. Well, okay, I think that's fair too. Up. Yeah. Again, yeah. For you guys that are up, actually either side you're on, did your opinion, did your mind change as of the Greenland tariff thing? Like, were you on the other side of it like me as of last week? That's hey, J-Wise, that's not a bad place to be. That's not a bad place to be, like always expecting kind of the worst, you know? There's times where you gotta like nut up and, you know, like lean in and make some bets. I don't know if now's that well, I do think now's the time. Yeah, my mind changed a complete 180 on this, you know? Division, that's yeah, it's a funny point. Yeah, Bitcoin 91 and everybody's bearish. It's crazy. Think back to a year ago and if Bitcoin was at 91 and how you'd be feeling and yeah. Also, a good point. Trump is not the first president to say he wants Greenland. Yeah. I didn't know it was 7, but I knew he wasn't the first. Yeah, that's interesting. I still think Bitcoin is very special, and I still believe that Bitcoin's on its way to a mill. And again, it's not now, it's not this year, it's not next year, but it's a process. It's not a one-shot thing. Vision, I'm right there with you, man. Right? I think there's a price or a level that Bitcoin's never going to again, and I think it's higher than people think. I'm not because look, it can wick down to anything, right? I think we can get some kind of what black swan event. We can have something that causes a crash, but it doesn't live there. Bitcoin is different now. I'm closer to vision where you're at. Like I think Bitcoin could touch somewhere in the 30s or 40s, but like doesn't live there. I mean, like, you see those fluke days where something crashes and it touches something and it bounces right back. That's what I see with Bitcoin. It could touch it, but no part of me believes it lives there anymore. And I'm more in that range. And I think it's going to surprise people. So, a lot we're going to learn. Right. Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't think they're going to allow it. I think a some kind of flash, fluky crash, black swan thing can have it touch there, but no, they don't let it. That's their buying opportunity. They're like, "Are you kidding me? This is free Bitcoin. You're giving me free 70 grand here." You know what I mean? But I'm with you. I think Bitcoin doesn't go as low as people think. I think it's a very different thing now. All right, let's move along because God, I keep the time management thing's bad. Um, Yesterday was Pump Fund's 1 year anniversary. It's crazy to think it's only a year old, right? I say that and I don't even believe it. But true. 1 year old as of yesterday, and yesterday announcing a $3 million public hackathon, which is yeah, pretty damn interesting. Pump Fund's new investment arm, right? Funding like what startups? This is like ICM, which I dig. So, yep, announcing the Pump Fund. It's going to fund 12 projects with that's pretty cool. $250,000 at a 10 mil valuation. I dig that. Yeah, I dig it. Instead of having to please judges, VCs for money, tokenizing allows the market to become the judge. Okay. Your users are the ones that fund you by betting on you early. Okay. Okay, eligibility requirements. Launch a token, build a project, own at least 10% of the token supply, build in public. It's just ICM. It's just ICM. And if they don't have any kind of ownership involved here, I'm sorry, just because Pump Fund's backing a thing, I don't think this works. Not to say there's not going to be some like pretty sweet price action here. There will be, because it's, Pump Fund. But this is this yet again, nothing new. This is, this is Believe 5.0 now, right? It's not that different from the virtual stuff, and it's not that different from the Believe stuff, and it's not different from the Bags app stuff. Like, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. So I don't know. It will work short term, but I don't know. And then you've got like what Meta Alchemist is doing, which also is kind of the same thing, a little different. I like coining new words here. I like vibe coins. You know what I mean? I like vibe coins. Instead of meme coins, we got vibe coins, and it's still a meme coin that's paired with a vibe coded app or product or whatever, right? I don't think that's different enough to spawn a whole new thing. Man, Mufasa, you're a poet, man. I love that. ICM is extraction by 1,000 cuts of fees. Kind of, yeah. It's not going to work. Again, in the right market, it does, and it's hot, and it's fun, and you make money and all that. But when you have to stop and think about it, like, shit, market's crashing especially makes you really think about stuff. You're like, all right, is this worth what it's worth right now? And you're like, no, none of it is. And vibe coins won't be any different, man. They're meme coins. It's great you built an app with it. I also saw a great tweet from somebody. That they're about to, I can't remember exactly how he put it. He's about to make $250 an hour fixing all the poorly coded apps that people are putting out there, which is probably really real. I don't trust a lot of this code. I mean, that said, what's happening right now is really real, right? Like these vibe coded apps. Did I save the tweet? Yeah, I did. There's still something like really real here. When you have, let's get that to load. Yeah, when you have Ryan Dahl, crazy. I don't know if is he the creator of JavaScript? I'm not a dev, so I'm not going to get this right. The creator of Node.js. I just don't know if that's like JavaScript, if you just say it like that, but whatever. The creator of Node.js, we'll just say JavaScript, admitted that the era of humans writing code is over. That's a big fucking statement, and it's really real. That doesn't mean attaching to a coin to it makes it like, special, different, whatever. There's something there. There's still that missing ingredient. We know this. And it's the equity thing, it's the ownership thing, or it's like great utility, and we don't have that yet. We don't have that, man. Vision, thank you, man. Bro, Mufasa, the same way like those Trove investors just got wrecked. A lot of people are going to get wrecked buying apps or using apps or whatever that are poorly coded, and then they get compromised and they get their whatever stolen. I don't know what, but they get their credit card stolen or they get their social stolen or something, right? It's about to get very ugly with that too. Dude, vision depends on time frame. Like I do believe Bitcoin hits an all-time high this year, but I'm betting on Powell leaving, right? We know that's happening. So that's May. I'm betting on crime. I'm betting on this economy having to be super, like just on fire for the midterm elections. And it lines up with a lot of people who own, like I do trust their takes, and they think, right? They think Bitcoin's down this year, like just sideways or down this year, but that we bottom like September, October, and that we have like money printing, and then Bitcoin rips next year. So that we're not far off with our takes. I think we're sideways down for a period this year, but I think ultimately we rip much earlier. I don't know. I think Bitcoin is an all-time high. Everything else, I have no idea. But I think Bitcoin really has a chance for all-time high this year. I don't think deep into all-time highs. I don't think that's this year, right? But I think, yeah, everyone thinks Bitcoin bottoms in September, October. So most people think it's going to be a pretty bad year for Bitcoin. I don't. Yeah, I don't think so. I think this year is going to be a lot hotter than people think. But I can't even guess with everything else. It's only Bitcoin that I think that applies to. Just like we were kind of, still in like a hot time last year. And right around Bitcoin all-time high, NFTs were going the complete opposite way, right? Prices were bleeding out. I think that can happen here too. Bitcoin just absolutely ripping, but everything else bleeding out. Because again, the conversation we're having, everybody's thinking, what's the value of this thing? What's this thing really worth? And nobody's going to have a good explanation for why their thing's worth so much money. I think a lot of these prices still don't make sense. They're too high. And I'll still say, like, NFTs, I'm very bullish on. But look, we got examples like Ralph. I like Ralph. I think Ralph is pretty great. I'm completely won over with it. And I'm actually looking, I'm like, I think right now is an interesting entry there too. I get worried when people talk about Ralph like this. And they're not saying buying Ralph, by the way, but they're saying learning Ralph might be equivalent of buying Bitcoin in 2012. Like that's crazy talk. I do think Ralph is pretty damn cool though. And I'm watching. This is also on the short list of things. Yeah, dude, I think it touched 8, maybe 9. Ralph is on the very short list. I'll say this, White Whale is there too. I don't think I'm buying it. Ralph I might be more likely to buy than White Whale. Maybe they're neck and neck, but those are both on that list now. There you go. There you go, Vision. There you go. I think so too, man. I think so too. And look, I don't like the title of the show, or I think on the thumbnail, nobody knows anything. I don't know if we can dump down into the 70s, maybe 60s, and it won't shock me. Nothing's going to shock me. Nobody can count on anything these days. And people much fucking smarter than me say that too. So I know I feel good saying that. Nobody knows anything. The experts don't know anything. The insiders are the only people who know stuff, and even things are outside of their control. So nobody knows. But we're just going to go by instinct and gut and my bet on crime. I think things get hot later this year. And maybe not far off, by the way. Ralph has got some potential. All right, we got to go quick, like real quick, because in 5 minutes, we got to keep an eye on the tariff ruling. The AI total market cap, $5.26 billion. We're down almost 6% in the past 24 hours. Look, I'm not going to go through this like I normally do. I just want to check if Mindshare is working, and it's not. So then I'll just say, hey, Elsa, TGE today. Be on the lookout for that. The thing should be pretty spicy. Pretty spicy. I think that's a big one. There's some drama in virtuals, boys. There's some drama out here. I'm just checking if there's anything new coming up. So no, we got Black Swan in 6 days. Way's coming up. They pushed Way back. Way's now 7 days off. Way AI. That's the biggest launch on the board right now. That's way off. Exactly, Mike, dude. Yes. Ralph is amazing. The token, why? Like, I don't know. Vision, I'll just say this. Not a lot makes sense right now. The why, look, who knows? Who knows? We heard, and I believe this last year, that a lot of the Bitcoin price suppression, especially after 1010, was China selling like billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. And that could still be what's happening because China is one of the primary buyers of gold right now. And so maybe. Cats, I didn't hear the whole thing. All right, let's do this quick because, we got so much. Okay, I feel bad for Hoods. Not really, because Hoods got some skin in the game yesterday buying an agent token. I didn't even know it was tied to a certain character that I learned a bit about recently. So the token is Nexus. Launched yesterday. We peeked at it on the show, and I'm like, I wouldn't touch it. But not for any specific reason, just because they didn't even have a link to their X. I'm like, I wouldn't touch it. But it came out yesterday that token was linked to Evans. And if you've been here doing the virtuals thing, you know Evans. You probably know Evans. Funny enough, Spidey Sense was always weird about him, but I didn't know he was a bad guy. I just had a weird vibe from him. Never followed the guy, ever. Purposefully. I never followed the guy. I'm like, something's off. I didn't know he's a bad guy until in our chat at one point, Will from the Will and Goon show, he was in the chat. He's like, dude, no. He's like, I would stay far away from him. Like, Will made it pretty clear that Evans is a bad guy. And that was the first time I'm like, oh shit. Okay. Then the instinct was right. Turns out, I think he's a bad guy. And by the way, in this chat, I think we've had some back and forth here with, somebody and maybe a few people in the chat about some of his projects, like the streaming app he has, the Saul Goodman. And that was the first time I'm like, yeah, that thing I think is bullshit. That's what started really cementing, me being a little anti-Evans, but I didn't know he's like bad guy. I'm still not even convinced he's bad guy. I'm not sure, but he probably is. Long story short, Evans is definitely behind the Saul Goodman project. He owns that. That's his, right? And I think that thing is just meh. I think that thing was weird from the start. But there's been like 3 other projects he's been an advisor for or been closely tied to, including that Nexus project that I didn't even know. I had no idea he had any connection to that. But TD, who does pretty good work like on-chain sleuthing, I would say I don't think he's the best out there, and I think he gets some stuff wrong. He's not Zach XBT, I'll say that. But he's good at tracing stuff. I just don't think he's good at putting the whole story together. That said, and he's great, by the way, like his person, good, great motives, all that stuff. But he tied a lot of things, a lot of crypto being moved around, a lot of selling directly to Evans' wallet, directly to it. So Evans as an advisor or maybe somebody on the team, like more officially, and also like funding wallets, selling some of the token, a lot of the token potentially. This is very much an Evans scheme. It feels very much like an Evans scheme. And then that's just confirmation that, the instinct was right. And it's not, again, just the Saul Goodman token. And it's not just this. There's like 2 other ones he's been tied to. If he were really a scummy scumbag, it would have been a lot more projects. So he's in this weird middle ground. I don't think good guy. I also don't think super villain, but I think like greed will get you. You know what I mean? I think greed will get you. And he's selectively being an extractor. And now people know. And so on the Will and Goon show, Will put it all out there. And it was pretty clear Will does not like this guy, has not liked this guy, thinks that guy's a scumbag. And, I'm not sure if he's full on scumbag, but he might be. He might be. So that Nexus thing is probably pretty fucking dead. Pretty fucking dead. And hopefully, like, if Evans is the bad guy, if he is that, I hope that's the end of Evans here in virtuals. But I still think we have stuff to learn about it. Like, I just, like, personally, I don't know if he's that bad and if this is that calculated. But although yesterday feels pretty calculated. But there's some virtuals drama, man. It's been a minute since we had good virtuals drama. All right, I've got up supremecourt.gov/opinions. We're looking to see if we get an update with the... Is it going to be like somebody versus Donald Trump? Or is it United States? But I'm going to keep refreshing this. J-Wise, did I see Shaw Liza Town? Is that his new game? He's got some game he's been talking about since he came back. Shaw's cooking, man. He just lost people, right? He's too... Yes. Shaw had his villain arc. I don't even know that Shaw's a bad guy. He's just a guy who's doing a lot of shit. And if that shit doesn't go right, you get accused of being a bad guy. So it's almost why I'm careful with calling people bad guy, kind of, because it's just so easy to look bad, even if you're not. All right. We're now at a 74% chance tariffs are ruled illegal. And we're on tariff watch now. We're on tariff watch. And so I'm going to keep refreshing. I want to see if this comes through. Okay, we do have opinions coming in. This is not the tariff one. What is this? Some medical malpractice thing. Okay. Okay, we're just going to keep watching. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go, this will probably be super annoying, but I'm just going to bounce between topics and then right back to this page. Because they roll them, it might be a few minutes before it comes, if it even comes today. We don't know. We don't even know. All right, some NFT stuff. Let's skip sales, but 7.4 mil yesterday. Big hoodie punk sale from Whale. From Whale.mocha, the latest bad guy. Not a bad guy also, but made a mistake. Didn't disclose his Trove partnership, but hoodie punk sale, 120 ETH. Love to see it. Some good collecting going on, man. I'm very bullish NFTs. Again, I don't think crazy prices this year at all, but I do think years down the road, and I think right now is a very, very interesting time to be collecting. Like really, really good time to be collecting. And by the way, I think prices will get even better. like lower. I do think that. We got an X copy going for 18 ETH. Love it. A nice hoodie GVC going for like 4 ETH. This is where I knew hoodies would go. Like I really, really believed that hoodies would go around 4. So I knew I took a little discount for mine, but the timing had to. And happy to have. And GVC still cooking. I'll say it every day, man. I'll say it every day. I think Vibester is one of the best bets out there. The end. One of the best bets out there. Also, Block's made a really great point because I've looked at the TokenWorks site and I've been going by FDV, and going by FDV doesn't make sense at all. I was wrong. Like we shouldn't be using FDV at all because it's counting burned tokens in the FDV. So GVC's burned 17% of their supply, and that factors into they're still counting those tokens in FDV. So the FDV is not 10 or 11 mil. The FDV, we should only be going by market cap. It's an $8 to $9 million market cap for Vibester. Look, man, I have a hard time seeing this not get to 25 mil and 30 mil and 50 mil. I'm sorry, but these are not crazy market caps. These are pretty normal ass market caps for a top IP in Web3, and they are going to grow into that. They're not that yet. You feel their come up, but they're not that yet. I don't think they're that yet, but I believe they're on their way there, and I believed it from very early on, and my belief in that has only gotten stronger. I don't think this is a $10 million coin. I think this is a $30 million coin, and I think if the market gets very silly, like I think it can do, I think that can be a $50 to $100 million coin. All right, what is this? Ellenberg versus the U.S. Is this tariffs? No. Nope. Nope, that is not tariffs. I don't know what exactly that is. That is not tariffs. But we might have more coming. All right, we'll keep checking. We got about 5 more minutes. I think Vibester is just crazy opportunity. I think Blocks is correct here. He does a good job staying on top of numbers. There's 500 ETH being held by the Vibester protocol, waiting to buy Vibester and then burn Vibester. So 500 ETH is what? We're like 1.5 mil. This could be a $1.5 million Vibester buy at some point. That is going to push up that market cap to, well, it depends on where it's at that point. But right, you can crunch some numbers and see that token's got a lot of upside, and that every time an NFT is sold, right, it's money that's then going ultimately back to buying token. That thing has got silly potential. We're going to see this one day with 50% of the supply burned. And what does the market cap look like then? I think this has got very stupid potential. This will be, I think this will be like Punkster, a top 2. It's going to be in that category or that tier. It's going to be like a top strategy token. And again, I think for me, 30 to 50 mil is like my target, but I really think it's got 100 mil potential if the market gives us that. It all depends on the market. But this thing I think is just, man, silly upside. Absolutely, there's downside there too. But that's the risk reward I'm looking for, is something like that. I dig it. I like this too. I love project sharing with their holders, their believers. Magic Eden's doing that, and they've said for a long time they're going to do this. 50% of their revenue, I believe, of their fees goes to ME token buybacks, and 50%. Wow. 50% goes to buybacks, and 50% going to USDC rewards for ME stakers. That's huge, dude. Okay, it's 15% of all their rev. Okay, so 15% all their rev, then split 50-50. 50% buybacks, 50% USDC rewards. That's incredible. That's what I want to see more projects doing, in virtuals, anything in ICM. But the problem is most of these things have no revenue, right? It's kind of a big problem, but that is the problem. That's a problem that goes away in time as crypto really gets mainstream, like really mainstream. We got another one. This is also not tariffs, but It's another ruling. Boy, I hope we get it. So GG's to Magic Eden. Love that. Love that. Yatsu not selling his NFTs, not gonna sell his NFTs, believes in them. I love that. I know he does. So do I. Gary, same thing, man. I love this dude. Again, I feel like right now is not like we're not about to see an NFT explosion, but we are in a very, very great time to be collecting. Gary's saying he's going to onboard tens of thousands of people to consider collecting NFTs this year. Thousands will, just like I did in 2021. He is. I think we are at our bottom for NFTs. I've never felt that before. In the bear market, I didn't feel we were at our bottom. This is the first time the past few weeks here that I feel like we are at the bottom. You only have like real, like true believers left who are not selling. It's a special time. The Pudgy Penguins kind of, some people looked at that Pudgy Penguins tweet. It was a reply. Nice, dude. Gary bought some Nakamigos. Nice. Pudgy Penguins had replied to the Nikita Bear InfoFi post last week with a comment that was, I don't know, it's a joke and it's also kind of maybe racist. It's not for me to decide. I don't know. But they deleted the tweet. They must have known it was edgy enough, right? Pudgy Penguins deleted the tweet. Manchester City has acknowledged that tweet. That said, I think this guy here is trying to just provoke. He's now tweeting at, Luca, trying to get a comment from him to publicly acknowledge that tweet was inappropriate. I think that's fine. I mean, this guy's, I don't know if he's offended, whatever. I get it. But this guy feels like he's got a motive. He's saying he's blocking hundreds of Pudgy Penguins people. It's like he feels like very fragile. And then again, if he's offended, I don't know. You act how you're going to act, I guess. I don't know. The tweet was definitely like right on that line. So I get it. It was not the craziest thing I've seen. But again, I get it. We have some whitelists, guys, for the new 8-nap art drop. Jay Squiggle. I fucking love this guy. He'll be on the show on, I don't remember if we locked in a date, but this week. A new collection coming from Sigma X. Awesome collection, by the way. It's I was gonna say, I thought it was photography, but it's, the core of it is architecture. Awesome new collection. Awesome collection. We'll have whitelist for it. It'll work like this. If somebody wants a spot, tell me. That simple. We're not going to do a raffle, anything like that. If you want a spot, let me know and we'll get you a spot. I am almost definitely going to mint this, right? I think it's art season. I've looked through at least the stuff they've put out on the timeline and it's amazing. I love it. I will almost definitely be minting this. And we'll have Jared on and maybe we can get Sigma X on here as well to talk about that collection. But I dig it a lot. So if you're interested, just send me a DM and we'll get you on the whitelist here. All right, nothing. I'm betting we don't get it today. I'm betting we don't get it. All right. A week left of what from MetaMask? I'm assuming farming whatever their first season of rewards for the linear rewards. This is not for the mask token. So just a heads up there. I've done nothing there. I don't care. It might be stupid. Also, maybe I should care because I completely missed the Gwei airdrop thing. And I didn't miss it, by the way. I went on the site. I connected my wallet. I did the gas checker thing. Nowhere did I see that you had to retweet a tweet to be eligible. But if you did any of that stuff, right? Remember that thing that would show how much gas you've spent? It's not enough. If you did not retweet one of their tweets, you didn't make the cut. And so people are pissed today. People are pissed seeing they're not eligible after farming for months. This shit's garbage, man. It just needs to go by what? Reputation. Reward the people using your product and your platform and reputation. That's all that should matter in the end. The end. And I think we'll end here, but James Wynn, I don't pay attention to at all, but I think, if he says something that makes some good sense, I'll share it. And I think he's right here. There's still all these bearish vibes out there. And yet Strategy just bought $2 billion worth of Bitcoin, and Vanguard for the first time bought 1.23 million shares of MicroStrategy, $200 million worth. Like, these guys are not in the business of losing money. And if they had a very good feel that this market's about to just absolutely I don't know, dump, they're not buying here. If they really believe this market was about to crash, they're not buying. Not spending $2 billion and not spending 200 mil, right? That's not 200 mil is nothing to these guys, but they're not spending that if they think it's definitely going to dump. Like so many people here are convinced we're about to just crash hard. They're not doing it. They're not in the business of losing money. It's a gamble. It's an investment, and you can lose money, but they're not. Yeah. You gotta read the writing that's on the walls a bit, I think. And I think we got a special year coming. All right, so we'll end there. We'll do one last check. Nothing. All right, that's probably it for today. Now, tomorrow we're up as well. I think the Supreme Court can give their opinions, release their opinions tomorrow too. So we'll do the same thing, which I fucking love. I wish I wish we did this every day. I wish there were big crypto, like adjacent rulings happening. I don't know. I like having things to look forward to. All right, so we'll run that back tomorrow. Smash a like on the show before you get out of here. Subscribe to Crypto Slam on YouTube. Follow us at Crypto Slam IO on X, and you know it. It's ethoswarm.ai. Whatever. I'm going to skip the whole going gaga over this thing, but I love it, and you should get on the wait list, and you'll see it very soon. ethoswarm.ai. Guys, have a great day. Newsletter going out later today. I hope you enjoy it. We'll see you back here tomorrow. We'll see you, fam. Goodbye.